So here we are on the official servers, and this is kind of our final run through for the night. Um, we've put together a couple of attempts at different run locations, water access to the Highland Swamp, the Highland Lake, sorry, the East Swamp to the Delta, the East Swamp to the river. Um, Essentially, North Lake's always going to connect to the Delta. So it's all of these, and then the transition from uh, the southern swamp to the river. So I guess in all scenarios, you kind of need to decide where you want to grow and where you want to hunt. And you can roam and hunt throughout the entire map. But I think it's just important, especially for new players, to understand that the east side of the map is heavily traversed and often locked down. And the west side of the map is a far better place to survive and grow, at least for those that are in the know. So the goal for me during my prime playthroughs will likely be to go into the ocean, saltwater mutation, straight to the West Lake to just grow in size, and then from there I can leave there and go and hunt private ponds if I like. We can return back to the Delta. We could entomb there and repeat the process. Um, all things are viable once we spawn in. We have a route from every Deinosuchus spawn location to achieve the same goal, so we should have a repeatable task. So here you can see we spawn in and we're located, I believe, in the southern swamp. So I think, now that we've done all of the spawns, depending on where you want to go, they're all quite easy. And if I want to survive and I want to prime, this is how I do it. So it's pretty much make your way straight over to the water's edge. And like, I think if you do this early and you do it as your first mutation, which is probably my my go to on all regular playthroughs right now, is just sprint to the water's edge, because you're going to have enough water that you don't have to return to the lake more than, like, you don't have to return to the lake at all. So you run to the water's edge, you drink, you check your tab, you check your fluid deficient, and then once you've drunk enough water, that fluid deficiency will go away, and then you can pop on that mutation and start heading to where you want to head. I do like leaving the swamp on the south side. It just gives me a lot more time between my transition to go and hunt some food, and if I do want to maintain that perfect, never infertile requirement, then yeah. So you can see we're not fluid deficient. We take the reniculate kidneys and we head straight into the water. And we still got half hunger, and we've still got some of the fertility bar remaining. So our goal now is to head up the coast, look ideally for crabs and dead turtles, or if we have a full stamina bar, we could probably go for a turtle. So here we see a dead turtle. This is perfect, pretty much. Stamina, quick run, feast, bring up that Y bar. You know, we're going to migrate from the swamp to. So the swamp is a migration zone where we started. Yeah, so we feed up there and we head back to the water, and we're going to make our way to that inlet on to get into that west side river system that we love. Now, I'm not sure why, but when this dinosaur sees me, he seems to take a little bit of an exception to me being here. So he follows me for quite a way. Yeah, and you can see here how easy it becomes to navigate exactly where you want once you kind of understand where you're going. And you can also see that my 2D map is not at all representative of what this map actually is. And that's why we had to make that analytical flyover series where we actually looked at the rivers and the lakes so we knew where to go, because otherwise we we're operating on dead information. So yeah, ultimately we're not too concerned with food because we know as soon as we get where we want to go that we're going to have the food requirements sustainable. So we just kind of want to get there. And you'll see here that I've learned to sort of navigate this channel quite efficiently compared to some previous run throughs. So we're just keeping our stamina high as we cross, and we can see the river mouth directly in front of us, how it opens up and it follows sort of parallel to that mountainside, and there's that nice beach. You've got the mangroves on the left hand side. But yeah, we just want to keep our stamina up in case we find something to hunt. So once again, no shortage of creatures by the riverside, right? Like, this is just, we're a baby. It's not something that we can deal with right now. I mean, if he swam in the water, I'd probably give him a go because I'm an aggressive little fucker like that. But, you know, it's abundant. So there we can see that's the transition right there. That nice big rock face comes up, that little pathway up the right hand side. All you need is a little bit of stamina, and it's an easy transition to this lake, and we'll be able to hunt food hopefully. All right, yeah, we built our stamina up, and now we're just going to make the run. And as you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot out of you. It's just you could potentially get ganked on the way, but the bigger you get, the less likely that's going to happen. Yeah, so once we got into this lake, I was hunting around for quite a while, very frustrated that every big fish I attempted to attack um, would disappear or vanish instantly. So I was kind of burning stamina, and I was worried that I was going to get that infertility strike more than anything. I was trying to avoid that. I'd done everything up to this point to avoid that. I should be able to hunt the big fish. I'm just slightly too small to grab them, but yeah, I was just getting a little bit nervous, and I decided I would need to leave the smaller river section to the bigger river section ASAP because I think the food's bugged. So here we go, making the journey. This is the transition from the lower tier river system to the upper level, and this one will take you all the way up towards the dome, pretty much. So yeah, we finished the walk, and we kind of just nicely slide into this river here, and this river system should be sufficient for us to grow throughout our life cycle now. Yeah, so we just recover some stamina. I noticed that we're still considered, we still haven't hit the infertile trigger. So there's the potential that if we do find a big fish and can kill it, um, that we can still avoid that and achieve our prime requirements. So you can see, yeah, we kind of swim around for a little while here. Don't really get what we need from these fish, but we finally get a fish. And we use our trick when we're just about to get big enough to eat them anyway. And we just avoid going infertile on that Y macro. Because of this, we've now hit the 90 kilo break point, and we have basically the entire West River to ourselves. Now, I'm going to fast forward through a lot of this because it's a lot of the same process. You're going to see me cruising up and down the river. You see me pop under the water for a while, hold my breath, kind of set my camera just above the water, and we just cruise up and down while hunting fish. It's quite a relaxing experience. You can see there's a dino there by the riverbank, but I'm likely too small to kill him anyway, so sometimes it's better not to look. So here we are, and at this point, I decide we haven't achieved a perfect diet, but we should have never been infertile. We've transitioned through the migration zones with a dino, so we've got the small size. We never get. I think we should achieve the five requirements, less the one strike. Um, but I would like to visit the sanctuary because I can't be sure if we're going to get a perfect diet at some point. So I'm kind of looking at the sanctuary location on this map and thinking I might make a run for it. So yeah, we head back down the river system, and you can clearly spot kind of where the sanctuary is. And I'm just going to try and make my way in there, grab that quick buff, and then head back to the river. Should be a safe and quick journey, but the ping, as you can see, spiking up to 200 at times, causing some rubber banding, is causing me a little bit of fret. And then at the same time that I'm moving, I'm burning through my stamina, I'm getting a little bit of rubber banding. The fog is very quickly moving in, um, and that's very concerning. So I don't get the bee animation here, but I'm clearly in the sanctuary. There's the red daffodils. I think I'm like, I need to get out soon. If I can locate the way out, because I can't see anything now and my stamina is getting low. Um, and just it's getting foggier and foggier by the second. So I need to get out now, and then I'm rubber banding a little. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know where I am, and I'm out of stamina, and I'm trapped. I walk for a little more kind of in confusion, but I try to orientate myself with my map, and I try to get myself kind of facing where I think I should be. But as you can see, you can't see a foot in front of you, and I'm in a very vulnerable position. Thankfully, we don't have bees attacking us because I will die. Um, and yeah, I'm just like kind of lost and confused right now. I don't know where the river is. I've lost all bearing of direction. I've made it out of the sanctuary now, but I don't know in what direction. I came out the top, the bottom, the left, the right. I have no idea. So I think I'm heading in the right direction on the map. You can see it's still a bit laggy. My water's dropping, and I just got no stamina, and it's getting darker and darker now. Yeah, I think it's kind of at this point where I'm like, I can't see a foot in front of me. I think I can hear the water. I don't know where I am. I might be stuffed. Um, I'm just gonna sit here for a minute because I don't know where to go. You can see my stamina kind of drops for a while, right? And then my water drops, but my stamina increases. And I think I kind of see water in the distance, or like potentially a river, and that helps me. I guess get my bearings. I notice that, oh, that's the river. So I need to stick to the right here and just keep moving forward. And I'm going to find my way back to the waterline, and I'll be on the top of that waterfall. So I was almost back in the main river because I got turned around, and that, yeah, I've spotted the water here. I've still got some water, luckily, and I've just burned all that stamina I got resting and getting my bearings to get back to the water system. So that was a close call, but I do believe I entered the sanctuary. Even though I didn't get the bee animation, I do believe it was sufficient for the prime requirement. So yeah, we get a little bit of stamina, and then we start to head back up river here, and we're going to make our way up back on top of this second waterfall. And it's just super. I think it's safer to travel at night. It's just super difficult to see anywhere in front of you. But I think you can see just there in front of the screen on the right. I saw the dinosaur tail flick in front of me. So I know there's someone nearby, and I'm 150 kilos, so I'm a nice little tasty snack, but I can't really put up much of a fight. Um, so kind of going unseen is the better option here. So I'm just patiently kind of biding my moments. Yeah, it looks like the coast is clear, so I make a quick dash for it, just to get back into the river system quickly. Now, after that terrifying ordeal, we kind of just hunt for a while, gather back our stamina, get our water up. We're full to the brim on fish, and this river system is kind of all of ours. It's very much uncontested. It's easily huntable, and I'm just patrolling up and down. We're just growing in size slowly, and there's very little external threat now. We've achieved all the requirements. We can stay here and entomb if we like, or once we hit maximum size, we can leave the lake and go off and hunt the isle until our heart is content. So, several hours have passed since we last checked in, and we've grown sufficiently larger. So, this is probably the total run so far is nearing 2 hours. We're becoming quite a big croc, and I'm just demonstrating that practice I spoke about before, where we kind of briefly look under the water, we see what's ahead, we see if there's any fish we might want to munch on, and we're just eyes above the water, burning up that O2, and we're just traveling up and down the river, getting a good idea of what's available, and then we surface and we get our oxygen back, and we keep continuing from there. But yeah, we're just moving up and down the river, just casually looking for people to hunt, and growing in size. Nice, tasty little treat left over for us. I think here I'm observing that I wasn't very cognizant of my O2, or I may have been looking at it and thinking it was full instead of empty for a while. So we're about 1,200 kilos here, and there's a couple of different separate playthroughs here. I mean, the same playthrough, but a couple of different video recordings over the night, as I was kind of just leveling up, chilling out, watching videos. You know, it's a fairly safe location. I've just got to maintain and monitor my stats and keep growing. Here we are again, just sort of navigating up and down the river, um, hunting, burning some stamina and taking a break, burning some oxygen, then taking a break. We can move quickly, we can ascertain targets on the riverbank, but I'll be honest, it was a fairly quiet playthrough, at least in this prime run on this river stretch. It's quite a large riverbank, and a lot of the time I spent underwater just sort of recovering and recuperating. And I've also been a little bit more cautious after some of the more recent PvP encounters. I was thinking to myself, it would be nice to do a prime run for this video so that we could prepare for the entombment, and we can keep demonstrating that further progression to our audience. So we're quite a few hours into our playthrough at this point, and we've just hit the 3 ton mark. So we're just still chilling in the river, resting, recovering. Just a little bit of a quick check in. There's not a lot happening. We've just been growing rapidly. We've got plenty of food. The only thing is lack of stimulation. We can leave, we can hunt, we can stay, we can grow. Since the goal of this specific play was to grow, I'm just staying. I've got nowhere else I need to be. So we check back in now, and we're at about 4 tons. So still growing nicely, 66% grown. We're still just navigating this river peacefully, hunting on fish, looking for dinos who step out of their comfort zone, and just, yeah, progressively growing in a nice peaceful environment. The dino life is the life for me. So, having achieved several sufficient playthroughs previously, demonstrated on video, but not yet achieving Prime, the closer we got to the target, not the more anxious I was becoming, but I just really wanted to actually hit it, to show that these Prime achievements that I'm talking about and these these requirements, the never infertile, the migration zones, the sanctuary visits, the no shakes, the dino size, the perfect diet, they all do contribute to you getting the prime requirement, and it does work. So, um, and sometimes the bigger you get, it's just nicer to lazily roll up and down the river. So we're just going to check in again here, and I think it's still very much a similar situation to before. We're just pacing the river. Um, we're always alert. We're ever present. We're always lurking. Just underneath the water at any moment lays a monster. I think we're like 6 or 7 tons at this point, so we're a sufficient dino, and we are very much nearing the prime evolution. So here we are, I think, kind of reaching the end of this playthrough. I think we're very close to the finish line. And this final video is more about the demonstration of the things that we've learnt, and the application to achieve that sort of prime full grown status, in a relatively easy way, in a repeatable manner that anyone can sort of follow along and do themselves. We have a very simple sort of mutation playthrough where the first mutation is a saltwater mutation at the water's edge to leave the busy river delta system as soon as possible. The second mutation, ideally, is the hydrodynamic speed increase, because we are going to patrol this lengthy riverbed, and it just makes it a lot easier to maintain your stamina if you're not burning it just to move at a reasonable rate. And then from there, the third and fourth mutations are really preference. I think in this one, I've opted to go with the fluid drain reduction and the reabsorption from the rain, because I would like to take my prime Deinosuchus and start traversing the map, entering some hunting ponds, and that will just give me a little bit more of a buffer on that traversal if I want to take my time. So that's kind of what I'm thinking now. I believe I'm pretty much not far from what you're seeing here in terms of what the live character is doing. He's sitting somewhere in this river right now, just awaiting sort of the next steps of our video series, wherever we choose to progress. But this has been the playthrough that gets us from start to finish. We spawn in the swamp, we go grab our mutation. I show you all the food sources on the way, the things to avoid and the things to not do. If you spawn in a different location, we've demonstrated some viable ways for you to get to either the coast or the main river system, to traverse back to the coast and then end up, hopefully, here. This is a dino haven. If you see other dinos here, please don't attack each other. Please don't watch my videos and then everyone go to the same spot and start a bloody battle royale. All right, there's plenty of things to hunt outside of the water. Let's just remember that. Dino bros be dino bros. And as you can see, my mutation alert has just popped. And if we check, we've got the prime. There we go. So what did I select? I selected... No, I think I looked around here, just sort of thought about it for a moment. There's some nice... I do like the the oxygen capacity. That's a nice one. And yeah, it's either fluid reduction from the hydration loss, the water drains more slowly, sustained hydration, or I like the reabsorption. Enhanced digestion's nice as well, but I don't think it's necessary. So there you go. That's a prime Deinosuchus in his full glory. All 4 evolutionary mutations, 75% growth, all in the West River. easy done. That's a beautiful creature. I think he's 8 tons at this stage. You hit 8 tons when you hit 75% growth, and the next transition will be to 100% growth as a prime Deinosuchus. So feel free to like and subscribe and check back in and comment to let me know what we should do next. Do I stay here, hit 100% and entomb? Do we go in PvP? Should I take him to a river pond and see what we can slaughter? Yeah, where we go next here is kind of up to you guys, but this is a repeatable and easily done playstyle that doesn't even require much focus and gets you one of the biggest monsters in the Isle to then go around and start hunting. So thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.